What's going on, Kings? It's Keefe. In this video, we're going to be talking about how dating apps are the 5th best way to meet women. We're going to go over the top 5 ways to meet women. It's important to understand this topic because in life, you need to make sure that whatever you are focusing your attention and your effort on is ROI positive, is giving you a return on your investment. And a lot of guys are focusing on the wrong areas when it comes to trying to meet women. So we're going to get into this top 5 so you know where to put your energy. Now, before we do that, hit the subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss new videos. This channel is all about helping you level up as a man and become that high value winner that you were born to be. So let's get started. So we're going to start with number 5, which is dating apps. This is the 5th best way to meet women, and there really aren't that many more than 5 ways. So basically, this is not a very great way to meet women. I'm going to give you some pluses and some minuses. So on the positive side, dating apps are very easy. And this is why guys tend to settle for them. I think most guys tend to kind of settle for dating apps because there's not much risk of embarrassment, right? Like, dudes will say the most crazy shit on a dating app that if they could, they would just send a dick pic right off the bat. I don't even know if you can send pictures on these dating apps, but if they can, they will. And basically, there's no like feeling of anxiety or rejection. You don't have to go out and you like impress girls. It's just about trying to find the 6 best pictures you can take, put them on this app, and see if you can get a girl. So it's very low effort and it's low risk. And so that is actually a positive. There's no necessary reason to go harder than you need to. And also, it's kind of just on autopilot. Like, you could be going through your day, get a match with a girl, and then bang her that night, right? Like, so it's very low effort, very just like autopilot. So those are positives. On the negative side, and why this is the 5th best way for you to meet women, is because 80% of the users of dating apps are men. Now, what does that mean? That means that you have no leverage. Women have so many options at their disposal that they have these insanely high standards. Even girls that aren't very attractive have very high standards for behavior. Also, it's not a very good frame for you to be in because you're already coming at it from this position of wanting the girl sexually, which basically means you lose a lot of your power in that interaction. These are 2 really big reasons why that's not effective. Another reason, it doesn't give you the opportunity to show off a lot of masculine traits. Basically, for a man, you can be that pretty boy model type, or you can be an actual like masculine kind of guy who's just an attractive dude in general. But you can't exude those traits very easily over a dating app because it's basically pictures and your bio. So there's not much you can show about yourself. So unless you've got fantastic like photo, like proper quality pictures taken by a photographer, it's gonna be hard for you to really stand out. So for those reasons, it's just not very high reward. Most guys really aren't killing it on dating apps, so that's why they are the 5th best way to meet women. Now, the 4th best way to meet women is cold approaching them. Now, this is the popular one for pickup artists. This has been a popular one, and it's a good skill to have, to know how to approach a woman with confidence. But the reason it's number 4 is because it's a little bit socially uncalibrated. It's not like a lot. Like, it basically is going to be as socially uncalibrated as you are. If you show up and you do it in a cool, confident way, you know why you're there, and you handle your business, it's really not that weird. But if you don't, then it's obviously going to be pretty awkward. Now, this is number 4 because you're playing with a lot of factors that need to go in your favor, pretty much. Number 1, you got to have the attractive girls show up. And I don't know if you're like me, but living my day-to-day life, I just don't run into a ton of like 9s and 10s. Like, they're pretty rare to begin with, but at least for me, I don't see a ton of them, so you don't get that many opportunities. Also, you got to be in the right like frame, mentally prepared to go do it. And a lot of guys don't have the habit of doing this. They don't get enough opportunities to do it, and when they do get the opportunities, they're just not comfortable doing it because they don't have that practice. Also, the frame is not very good because basically you're already coming at it from this position of trying to get her approval typically, and it's hard to break that frame right off the bat. So there's a lot of things working against you on this. Now, what works for you is it shows some balls, and most guys don't have the balls to actually approach a girl in person, so you're gonna stand out if you do that. And also, you have the opportunity, if you're good socially, to exude a lot of the traits that make you attractive to women. So there are some really good positives to cold approach. I would take it over dating apps because you can show off more of your personality, and also because it's not that 80-20 situation where 80% of the users are men. Most of the time, most guys are not going to approach women. So if you do this, you're going to stand out. You're going to be remembered a lot better if you can do it in a more confident manner. But even the best guys, when it comes to approaching women, are not going to get most of the girls that they approach. And so there's a high failure rate as well in this. And we want to reduce the amount of failures so that we can reduce the amount of effort that we have to put into this, so that you can get more results without having to spend so much energy on it. Because what happens when you cold approach as well is a lot of times it puts you in a situation where you got to go out to bars, clubs, which is where they're usually going to find these women, which a lot of guys don't want to do that. I'm not personally a fan of going to bars and clubs very often. Or maybe you just have to go out, maybe you're at the grocery store, but like how many hot girls are you just running into every single day at the grocery store? It's not that common of a thing to see. So it's just basically you have to go out of your way, spend your time and energy on making this thing happen, which is going to take up a significant chunk of time, or you're just going to happen to run into them all over the place, which means there's not much control over the results you're going to get unless you're intentionally going out and spending your time to try and meet these women at a bar or a club or something like that. Now, the third best way to meet women, now we're getting into some things that I think you should actually start to focus your energy on. These are things that can be ROI positive in more ways than just with women. The first one, number 3, is having common interests. Meeting a woman in a situation of common interest. So this is like cold approach, but a step up. And the reason being that this is better than cold approach is for a few reasons. Number 1, there's already like a reason why you're interacting with this person. So it's not that weird. You can a lot easier start a conversation with this woman than just seeing them at the grocery store and trying to start a conversation about what kind of bagels she got, right? Like it becomes a lot easier when you're both at a common purpose, pretty much. So maybe the gym, maybe it's, I don't know, you're in the same class in college, or maybe you're, I don't know, both political. You meet her at a political rally, some shit like that. But pretty much having common interests makes that barrier to entry a little bit lower. It's also going to mean that you're doing something that you're already passionate about, which is good because that means you're not wasting your time. Whereas if you go to a bar or a club to meet girls because you're strictly there to meet the women, basically you have one intention, it's meeting the women. If you don't do that, you failed. And also you spent your time on that when you could have spent your time on something more productive. So if you've got a passion, let's say you love to work out and you just happen to meet the women that are there, well, you've killed 2 birds with 1 stone, and you're not doing it just for the women. You're doing it for your betterment. So this is like cold approach, but a step up, much better. And this is also going to mean you have some passions, you have some interests in your life. So that's why I recommend you focus on this one. Number 2 is Instagram. All right. I used to be very opposed to social media, and I still don't love the concept of it, to be honest, but I've just kind of come to accept reality. A lot of women use Instagram. Like every woman uses Instagram. And in the 21st century, we just use these social media apps all the time. Like you'd be a fool to not figure out how to capitalize on this shit. It's like dating apps, but on steroids, because you get this like status you can create for yourself because all these girls want to see how many followers you got or the blue check mark. Again, it's so vain, but it's just the world we live in, right? And you can put more pictures up. You can show more of your lifestyle. It's a very high status thing you can create for yourself, which is very attractive to women. It becomes a lot easier to meet women, whereas on the dating apps, you're going to have to match with them. And a lot of times, like the quality of woman who's going to be on the dating apps isn't going to be as high as Instagram. And also, are they even going to check the dating apps that much? You don't have to wait on her to check the dating apps because every girl's on her Instagram all the freaking time. So you can set yourself up much better here. This is also going to leverage other opportunities for you. Financial opportunities can be set up if you handle your Instagram properly. Meeting other cool people, not just women, is also a possibility when you focus on this. So pretty much you do need to create a badass life. I don't want you guys going out there just doing it for the gram and doing some dumb shit all the time. Like, I gotta go like set this crazy ass picture up to look cool on Instagram, but my life's really shit. Like, if your life isn't put together, don't focus on this one. But if you do have your life kind of working out and you do cool stuff, you might as well leverage that to get yourself higher status, get yourself some girls, put yourself around cooler people, and maybe even create financial opportunities for yourself. You might as well do that. So Instagram is the second best way to meet women in 2021. Now, the first best way, and this is the one that would solve so many of your problems if you just do it, is social circle. All right, these are women who are already in a small pool of men, right? There's only going to be so many guys around you if you're hanging with your social circle. It's got women around. So the competition is a lot lower. She already knows who you are. And if you handle this right and act like a high value kind of guy, she's obviously going to have a lot of opportunities to start becoming very attracted to you. So this is such a great situation. Also, so many guys want to build a social life. So kill two birds with one stone. We don't have to focus exclusively on cold approach and getting girls over here and then exclusively on building a social life. Put them both together. Have a great social life that happens to also create opportunities with women for you. This is going to make you a lot happier than constantly having to go out to a bar by yourself or with your wingman or whatever and try and get a girl. Like, you could just show up, be having a good time with your friends, and girls happen to be a part of that, and you're being an attractive guy, and it just works out for you. It's so much easier. There's no real effort here. There's no feeling of like, this guy's creepy, he's approaching me, because you're supposed to be there. To really focus on the social circle. I want you guys getting some passions and hobbies so that you can find people who relate to you, find women who relate to you. This is going to make that easier for you. I want you guys to start working on your social media game if you're the kind of guy who's got his crap put together to some degree, so that you can show that off, make that part of your life a lot easier. And I want you guys building a social life. Focus on those three at the expense of dating apps and cold approach. You'll be a lot better off. You'll get a lot better results. If you got something out of this video, guys, give me a like, hit the subscribe button and bell icon so you don't miss new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.